Sometimes we need a presentation drawing of a design we've been developing. We might be looking for feedback from our client, so we need to be able to quickly realise our ideas in a more resolved way. Having produced a CAD drawing of an existing digital voice recorder, I'm now rendering my work using Sketchbook on an iPad. I'm starting with the microphones at the top. Before I can hope to render these successfully, I need to decide upon the material I'm going to represent. I want this to be an alloy with a smooth finish, so I'm building up my rendering with soft edges, as the reflection would be a dull one. Harder edges would make the material appear more reflective than an alloy, for example chrome-plated steel. Whilst my rendering has soft edges, I'm still trying to build up plenty of contrast, so my light tones are almost white and my dark tones are almost black. In addition to this, I'm adding shadow where the light source is being obstructed by another object and where a surface wraps around, moving further away from the light source. Here I'm cleaning up the edges and removing any unwanted shading that's gone over the boundaries of the shapes I'm rendering within. I want the next component I'm working on to appear to have been injection moulded in a dull plastic that has the appearance of alloy. I've chosen a light to mid-tone grey and I'm not placing any reflections on this part. This helps to maintain the appearance of a dull material. I'm still adding shadow where the light source is obstructed. I'm able to represent a small radius along the edges of the component by placing a highlight on those facing the light source and a shadow along those facing away from the light source. The three mid-tone circles appear to sink beneath the surface of this part because there's a cast shadow and a highlight that both relate to the light source. The parts holding the microphones each has a light area at the end, representing a radius, and there's a shadow on the one on the left which indicates that it's below the level of the main part. The main body of the digital recorder is made from a rubberized plastic that's tactile and resilient. The edges of the main shape will all catch a little bit of light even when they're hidden from the light source. In this instance, it will be light that's bounced back towards the object. There's a groove running around the main body, so I'm adding highlights and shadows to indicate this. To represent the rubber finish on the body of the device, I'm using a narrow range of tones. This range of tones is towards the darker end of the spectrum, and I'm avoiding any signs of reflection. The screws are three-dimensional objects too, so just as everything else does, they cast shadows and catch light. The main button is made from a shiny plastic, so it needs to be more reflective. In this instance, I'm using a cliché reflection of a generic window. It's a trick often used by designers, and it's in our subconscious, being something we see and don't notice hundreds of times every day on the objects around us. I want the plate that houses the buttons to be the same material as the injection moulded part at the top, so I'm repeating the process I used earlier. The buttons could be made from a rubber material, but I've decided that they should be injection moulded in plastic. I've chosen a mid-tone grey and I've replaced reflections on them to signify that they're a hard and durable material. Shadows cast by the buttons show that they protrude above the surface. Finally, I've chosen a colour for the display and placed reflections over the whole screen. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, then please subscribe to my channel. Hitting the notifications tab will ensure you're the first to see my next video. You can find out what's going on behind the scenes on Instagram at Product Designer Maker and download resources and tutorials from my website www.productdesignermaker.com. Thanks for watching.